This is Share the Vision, presented by the Resource Center, a discussion of the programs and services of the Resource Center and about issues related to individuals with disabilities. Today, the second annual recognition celebration for the TRC Foundation. Standing with me is Steve Watterson, Community Relations Director at the Resource Center. He will be the MC of the event you are about to hear. Steve, give us a little summary of what our listeners have to look forward to.
Dennis, tonight we're going to be paying tribute and recognizing individuals and business donors who during the previous year reached a milestone level of cumulative contributions to the Resource Center or TRC Foundation. And then we're also going to give out some special awards, a Volunteer of the Year Award, and then 2 TRC Foundation Inspiration Awards. But this event is really an opportunity to pay tribute to some of our loyal supporters, but also maybe pull in some people who aren't that familiar with our organization, share a little bit about the good works that we do, and hopefully encourage them to want to get to know us better.
Well, Steve, thank you for that. I'm going to let you get up to the MC table now. I think Paul Chisana is about to speak.
When we talk about some of us that are part of this organization, whether it's the Resource Center or the Foundation or Filling the Gap, some of us do have the opportunity and the privilege to get to know the value that each individual has, really despite whatever disabling condition that might come forth, that might appear.
You're listening to Paul Chisana, Executive Director of the Resource Center. His remarks and others you'll hear in this program today have been highly edited for purposes of time.
And so that's why we're really here to celebrate the impact that TRC Foundation has on so many individuals' lives. How? Because by celebrating your own personal dedication, we also celebrate your own stories. Somehow you have all been motivated to pay attention to these realities and to do something about it. And that's why we are here, to make sure that we take our own time to let you know how important it is.
Thanks, Paul. We are ready to move into the awards portion of the evening. These are the awards that we give out to individuals and businesses who last year reached milestone levels of accumulated financial contributions to the Resource Center and TRC Foundation. And Todd is going to share a few words before we get started with the actual awards presentation.
Todd is Dr. Todd Jacobson. He's the president of the Resource Center's Board of Directors.
Thanks, Steve. It's been a very difficult 3 years, the past 3 years now for the board, with deficit situations every year due to state and federal changes with funding. And we've more and more become dependent on their foundation support for those programs that are necessary for individuals but are running at a deficit. So we really appreciate all the support there. And it's great tonight to have a celebration of the legacy service for the legacy circle for the individuals, businesses, and organizations that have achieved certain levels of donation. Donation to the foundation not only affects this year, but will affect for years to come as far as support to individuals that we take care of. So with that, Steve?
Thank you, Todd. If you looked in your program, you saw we have a lot of recipients to get awards. For the sake of time, we're only going to read off the names of those individuals who are actually here this evening, but the full list is on page 7 of the foundation report that you received tonight. At the $25,000 level, we would like to recognize Moore and Myatt, LLP, and accepting the award on Moore and Myatt's behalf, Cindy Saxton. Come right up.
I just want to say thank you very much for this honor. I have had the good fortune of being associated with the Resource Center since the early 80s. Clark Poppleton hired me fresh out of college to be a behavior technician up at the Foote Avenue ICF. One of my favorite clients, Donald, we would go to the grocery store, and as we were going through, he would always introduce me, and he would say, "This is Cindy Stakel's super boss." And they're like, I didn't prompt him. I've tried to prompt my current employees, but they won't say that. So just best of wishes to the Resource Center and growing, and keep doing what you're doing. Thank you.
Thanks, Cindy. By the way, these first awards we're giving out, they are paintings that were done by individuals in our Creations art program. More specifically, these paintings were done by folks in our traumatic brain injury program up in Dunkirk. So we have a very vibrant art program here at the Resource Center. The hallways and some of the meeting rooms here are lined with paintings that have been done by our artists. So if you have some time afterwards and would like to stroll the hallways and see some of those, we'd be happy to show you. Our next award is at the $20,000 level, correct? And for Brown & Brown of New York, I'd like to have Charlotte Olson come up.
I would just like to say, on behalf of Brown & Brown of New York, we would like to thank you very much for this honor. It's been a privilege to be partnered with the Resource Center and helping out our community. Thanks again.
Thank you very much. And then also at the $20,000 level, Premier Consulting Associates, and to accept the award, Anthony Brothers. Came all the way down from Buffalo.
Just want to say that it's an honor to be a part of something so great and to give back to the community of Jamestown. And I can say on behalf of everybody at Premier Consulting Associates, we look forward to continuing our donations and to continuing the work that you people do in this community. It's tough. You know, it's the day-to-day people are the ones that really should be getting the thanks because they're the ones that make it all possible. So, thank you.
Anthony, thank you very much. At the $15,000 level, representing All-Star EMS, Mr. David Thomas.
The team at All-Star EMS and Starflight, we're thankful to be recognized here tonight, but we really appreciate the fact that we're here to celebrate with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And then also at the $15,000 level, the Chautauqua Region Community Foundation. Randy Sweeney coming up to get the award.
Before Randy Sweeney speaks, I want to note there were some videos shown at the beginning of the presentation at the Resource Center. They showed some of the consumers and some of the employees of the organization.
Listen, I can't thank the TRC Foundation enough for this recognition, but I really feel that, you know, the individuals that we watched in the video, I wish they were here. I wish I could walk out and hand this to them and hand it to, you know, the employees that you have that are working diligently every day, because you're the true heroes here. But thank you very much.
Thanks, Randy. At the $10,000 level, his wife Dodie was unable to be with us tonight, but the award goes to both of them. I'm sure she controls the purse strings. Dr. Harry Glatz.
Thank you for the award. You are thanking Dodie and I for our donation. We should be doing the thanking to the TRC for being there in our need. When our son Bruce became mentally handicapped back in 1980, our question was how best to care for him in the long run. TRC was there for us, and we thank you for that.
$10,000 level. Our other recognee, is that a word? Here with us tonight, almost needs no introduction, but we'll introduce him anyway. Mike Goldman.
You know, it's been my pleasure to be associated not only with the board of directors but with the foundation. I'm blessed, as I have two healthy daughters, but there are other people that are not as fortunate as me. And I consider it an honor and a privilege to be able to support those people that are not as fortunate as me. Thank you.
Today on Share the Vision, we're covering the second annual recognition celebration for TRC Foundation, held this past Thursday night at the Resource Center's administrative offices, just outside Celeron. Because of the limitations of time, we cannot present all of the $5,000, $2,500, and $1,000 awardees mentioned at that program the other night. If you would like to see the full list, you can contact the TRC Foundation.
3 more awards to do. A couple of awards that we're calling the TRC Foundation Inspiration Award, okay? Our first one goes to a family from Randolph and their extended network of family and friends. When we decided several years ago to create the Step Up for Autism Walk, Aaron and Crystal Peelman jumped right in and offered to help. For Aaron and Crystal, the cause hit close to home. Their youngest son, Mason, is on the autism spectrum. In addition to helping plan the event, Aaron and Crystal went a step further and created a fundraising webpage, then reached out to family members and friends and asked them to not only make donations to Team Mason, but to come out and walk. They've done the same thing for all 4 of the Step Up for Autism walks, raising more than $7,500 in the process. This says a lot about the love and respect that the Peelman's family and friends feel toward them. It's important to note that Team Mason includes more than just Aaron and Crystal and their 3 sons. Aaron's parents, Peggy and Don Stewart, have been at every Step Up for Autism event. If you've never been there, one of the highlights is our cake auction, and Don is an aggressive bidder, always leaving with a few cakes to take with him. And in fact, Don was thinking about outbidding people for the cupcakes tonight, so I'm glad you did not follow through with that. I should add that the Peelman support and involvement in the Resource Center doesn't end with Step Up for Autism. Crystal participates in our Parents for Parent support group and volunteers her time with our Children's Services Department. Her sons, Braden and Caleb, have participated in our SIB Shop, which is a program for children who have a sibling with special needs. Aaron and Crystal are always willing to talk on the radio to promote Step Up for Autism. And just last month, Crystal and Caleb spoke on the radio during a segment on the bullying of students with special needs. The Peelman family is an inspiration to many, and that's why we're pleased to present a TRC Foundation Inspiration Award to Team Mason. And here tonight to accept the award are Aaron, Crystal, Braden, and Caleb Peelman, as well as Peggy and Don Stewart. Come on up, guys.
Thank you all. We're honored to be able to be here to accept this award on behalf of Team Mason. We're humbled to have such overwhelming support year after year. Each year, TRC does so much for so many families in the area, and we're proud to be able to have the support to be able to do this and give back to them year after year. And I just can't express how proud we are of everybody that helps us out, and everybody here and that helps TRC. So thank you all again.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Okay, mark your calendars for Saturday, September 27th for the 5th annual Step Up for Autism. It takes place right here. And cake auction, yes. Bring some money, because he will outbid you or go broke trying. Okay, our second Inspiration Award. Kathy Seastead was a 25-year employee of the Resource Center when she passed away unexpectedly in 2008. To acknowledge her dedication and commitment, TRC Foundation's Community Support Fund was renamed the Kathy Seastead Dream On Fund in deference to one of Kathy's favorite songs by one of her favorite bands, Aerosmith. The sad reality about naming funds in memory of someone is that over time, interest in the fund can wane unless there's someone to champion it. So Paul Chisana encouraged Kathy's family to champion the Dream On Fund. This request was made even more urgent by the fact that the fund supports people with disabilities who have immediate needs. Many people with disabilities live on the margins economically, and they don't always have money for critically needed items. These can range from needing $30 to buy personal care products to needing several $100s to cover the security deposit on a new apartment or to pay for car repairs. Sometimes the Kathy Seastead Fund literally can mean the difference between whether someone has a roof over their head or can get to work. The fund is heavily utilized to the point that it sometimes runs out of money and can't meet everyone's needs. So Paul asked Kathy's family for help, and they responded. First, Kathy's sister-in-law, Chris Richard, created a feel-good fair to raise money for the fund. And then in the summer of 2011, I was contacted by Kathy's sister, Andrea Tremuto. Andrea explained that she was a member of the Flying Flamingos, a group of women and a few men who dress in pink and participate in the turkey trot race in Buffalo on Thanksgiving morning every year. Andrea said the group liked to raise money for a local charity, and they wanted to support the Dream On Fund since Andrea had a connection to it. She wanted to know if it would be okay for the Flamingos to raise money. I said yes. So Andrea put me in touch with the group's founder, Pam Benchley. Pam basically told me that while anyone can dress in pink, drink cocktails on a chartered bus to Buffalo, and make a spectacle of themselves at the turkey trot, she aspired to a higher purpose and wanted the Flamingos to raise money to support people in need. For the Dream On Fund, the Flamingos created an online fundraising page and then asked their family and friends to contribute. Our partnership with the Flamingos has continued for the past 2 years, and we've added wrinkles to try to make this initiative even more successful. Last fall, we made up some card magnets featuring the Flamingos' mascot, Flo, and they were a huge hit. Over the past 3 years, the Flamingos have raised $15,000 for the Dream On Fund. This would be an exceptional achievement for any group, but what I think makes it more tremendous is the fact that besides Andrea, I'm not sure that any of the Flamingos previously had a strong connection to the Resource Center. Here at TRC, we often talk about how we need the support and involvement of the community in order to succeed in our mission of improving the lives of people with disabilities. The Flamingos are an excellent example of a community supporter, and that's why I'm tickled pink that some of them were able to join us tonight to accept a TRC Foundation Inspiration Award. Please welcome Pam Benchley, Andrea Tremuto, Shelley Dillenberg, Jody Korzinski, Eli Manzella, and Amanda Tonelli, the Flying Flamingos.
Speaking first here, Pam Benchley, later Andrea Tremuto.
We're quite shy, can you tell? Actually, really, it really is an honor to be here to help out. A few years ago, I didn't know any of these girls. I certainly didn't know Andrea, and it's just been wonderful. And I usually don't cry unless I'm in a crisis. But we really feel blessed, and to be able to use all the opportunities that we have to give back, that's really the point. So, thanks. We'll probably all talk. No.
Just real quick on a personal note, I'm Kathy's sister, Andrea, and 6 years will mark the anniversary of Kathy's death. So tonight just really has comforted me to know that her memory is still very much alive. And thank you so very much to all of the TRC employees who continue to serve out everything that she believed in, advocated for, and fought for. So I truly appreciate all your hard work, and thank you so very much. And thank you for giving me something to honor her memory with. Thank you.
Let's hear it for the flock. Okay, our last award, and don't think we're done. We have a couple more things to do after that. So, our last award goes to our Special Event Volunteer of the Year. Ron Hassan has been involved with street basketball for the past 17 years. From day one, Ron took charge of the medical unit for the basketball tournament. The tournament has seen many changes over the years, including different venues and even a name change. But one thing remaining consistent has been Ron and his team of emergency medical service personnel and students. Ron encourages his EMS students to volunteer their time, and they readily agree. As a result, we've had as many as 24 EMS students on hand during this 3-day event. Ron is extremely dedicated to the tournament. He volunteers from Friday afternoon, during the sponsors tournament, right until the last whistle has been blown late Sunday afternoon. Many players can attest firsthand to the excellent coordinated level of care they have received from Ron and his crew inside the Street Jam medical unit, which we affectionately called the MASH tent in reference to the popular TV show from the 70s and 80s. Ron's expertise goes beyond the medical unit, as he also serves as a communication coordinator among medical, emergency, police, and fire departments countywide. He's a priceless part of our Street Jam family. His commitment, experience, and expertise combine to make the medical tent a well-oiled machine. While we always hope no one will get hurt at Street Jam, injuries do happen. Rainy weather can make the playing surface slippery, and hot temperatures can take their toll on players and spectators alike, and occasionally some of our volunteers. Through the years, Ron and his colleagues have provided expert care to anyone who needs it. They're an integral part of the tournament's success. So, on behalf of his EMS crew, we would like to present the Special Event Volunteer of the Year Award to Ron Hassan.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Vicki. Thank you, Greg. It's very humbling to win an award like this. The Resource Center Foundation have a lot of different fundraisers throughout the year, Laurel Run and things like that. And to think that someone chose me out of all the other hundreds of volunteers that participate, it's very humbling. I'd like to thank my employer, All-Star EMS and Starflight, because they allow me the time to come and sit on the planning committee. And to do that, I do volunteer on the weekends just like my other students and other EMTs and people from other fire departments like Peggy here. It was like 19 years ago, I got a phone call from Lee Harkness. And he said, hey, do you want to get involved with the Gus Macker? And I said, the who? I'd never heard of it before. And so he started to explain about it. And I thought that would be a good community involvement thing. What we do in EMS is a hard sell. Nobody wants to hear about us. Nobody wants to deal with us unless they need to call that ambulance. And I think that's a lot the same with people with disabilities. And Greg says things are a lot better now, and they are. But you're right, when Mike was first doing all this, nobody wanted those people in their neighborhoods. It's a hard sell, and it's very similar. And I think Christine was here. It's the same for, I think, social services. People ostracize us, or they don't want us until they have to have us, or they have a relative that has a problem. And Paul's right. I think you guys call it consumer advocacy. We call it patient advocacy. And you need to get out in that community and get these people involved and let them hear your story. And that's what I do as an EMS professional. And Dr. Glatz, I remember when Bruce got sick, I was working in the emergency room in those days. And to see people like that get help now, it's very important, I think. And that's why I do it. I do a lot of other community things, but this is the one that, after so many years, has been a fun one to deal with. And Lee Harkness and myself and Marcus Maloney, who won this award last year, and Vicki, when we first did that first tournament, did an awful lot of work. Guess who my first three patients were? Lee Harkness, Marcus Maloney, and Vicki Bardo. Honest to God, I kid you not. So, yeah, if you know Lee, don't let him carry a hammer. Okay, that was the first problem. So, but again, thank you very much. I want to thank my employer again for allowing me to do the time to coordinate putting that stuff together. And I'd like to also thank all my volunteers. And my students do it because I give them a 95% test grade if they put in at least 4 hours. Because they take my EMT classes at the college. So, again, thank you to the Resource Center Foundation. And these folks, it's not a hard sell. If I need something, the Vickies and the Steves of the world, and Greg Krause, he's here somewhere, board members, they make it a lot easier for me to coordinate that and get our supplies and take care of those people. So, thank you again.
Thanks, Ron. All right, one more round of applause for all of our award recipients tonight, please. I would like to have Randy Ordinas, the chair of the Foundation Board of Directors, come and make some remarks.
Thank you, everybody, and welcome tonight. There's lots of stories and lots of comments that we've heard up here that would be very easy for any of us to echo in our own experiences with the Resource Center. Personally, I've had the great honor to be involved with the foundation since its beginning. I was its founding chairman. Spent some time off the foundation and came back a few years later and have been working with it ever since. My first involvement with the Resource Center, although they've done a phenomenal job, was not the brightest point in my life. We lost my sister 30 years ago this month, And the last 5 years of her life were spent with the Resource Center, and I can't tell you how much better they made her life for those last 5 years. For that, my family's in great debt to the Resource Center and the folks who run the Resource Center. And lastly, before I dig into what's hopefully a very short comment session, I would like to echo what Randy Sweeney and Anthony said earlier, which is we all sit in this room and it's fun to honor people and to have award ceremonies. But the folks who really deserve the awards are the folks who are sitting at the tables over here, the folks who on a day-to-day basis take care of the clients of the Resource Center. They're absolutely phenomenal, and they work with an amount of passion that you won't find in too many other places around our community. So thank you very much, everybody. And just a quick reminder, my association is mostly with the foundation. Just going to give you a little plug for the foundation. I'll be quick about it. But just to remind you what the mission and the purpose of the foundation is. We were set up in the mid-'90s basically to develop and grow a pool of assets that could support the mission of the Resource Center. So our goal over time is to increase those assets and be able to have an increasing impact on the Resource Center through annual distributions supporting the mission. Now, the grants that we've distributed over time, we're going to cross $800,000 in total this year. And if you turn to the second page of the annual report, you'll see in there that there's a listing of the types of items that the foundation has the opportunity to support the Resource Center with. And one of these events we were having recently, somebody asked me, well, how do you determine where you give the money to in the Resource Center? And from what I can tell, and my experience has been, as we've sat around the table, is there's all kinds of gaps and holes in funding, whether it's from the state, the federal level, foundations, individuals. So the foundation has the opportunity to fill those gaps, to plug those holes, to help individuals and groups of people in places where there is no help other than the foundation. So it's very nice for the Resource Center to have the foundation to count on for the long term. We had a very good year in 2013 with the foundation.
At this point, Randy Ordinas mentioned all the fundraisers that the TRC Foundation has each year.
We raised $43,000 through the fundraising efforts of those programs I just talked about. We received contributions in addition to that of over $84,000. We distributed over $72,000 in grants last year to the mission of the Resource Center. And we had investments that earned about $340,000 last year. I can tell you that as of yesterday, the foundation crossed $2 million for the first time. So we're very pleased to have made it past that point. And we hope that's the first $2 million is the hardest. The next $2 million will come much quicker. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Thanks, Randy. We can't do it without you. We really appreciate your support. Hope you had a good time tonight. Keep us in mind if you know somebody who wants to maybe volunteer, sponsor one of our special events, maybe provide an employment or volunteer opportunity to an individual with a developmental disability. Everybody wants to give back to the community and feel like they belong. And we're helping them do that. You're helping them do that. And we would like that partnership to continue. One other thing you're going to be hearing about in the coming months, we are undertaking a capital campaign called STARS. I won't go into a lot of details, but we're basically integrating our whole array of services to improve the health not only of individuals with disabilities, but of all of Chautauqua County. So if you hear about STARS later, you'll know what we're talking about. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming. And we hope we will see you again soon.
The voice of Steve Watterson, Community Relations Director at the Resource Center, bringing to a close the second annual recognition celebration for the TRC Foundation. What we've covered today on Share the Vision.